It can be pretty hard to find a new series to read. But if you're in that predicament right now, I got the perfect series for you. And I believe this series is one of the most positive series I've ever read on Webtoon. This series is called The Night Only Lives Today by Solpung, Ian, Lee Hyung-min, and Kanara, and it follows a young man named Enkrid, who wants to become a knight and is a captain of a small mercenary group that's looked at in a very bad light, being referred to as delinquents for how rowdy they are. However, their captain, Enkrid, is someone who can calm them down. How? By just being there. Yeah, I know. It's crazy, right? Enkrid is someone who's put years into his training to become a knight. However, he's not nearly as powerful as some of his comrades. In fact, at the start of the story, he's one of the weakest in his group, despite being their leader. But one day, a curse is placed upon him, where every time he dies in battle, he has to repeat that day until he can get through the day alive. Kind of like Edge of Tomorrow, ReZero, and Happy Death Day, except what Enkrid does with this curse is use it to his advantage, seeing what openings the enemies revealed, and training as much as he can so he can spot the enemy's weaknesses and ultimately defeat them. Unlike the other series I mentioned, where the main characters want to get out of this cycle, Enkrid is more than happy to stay in it, and takes on life like a video game, where you get unlimited continues. Except in this situation, you get to keep your experience you received, and not lose it all once you hit continue. If you're someone who reads webtoons, you'll find out that in the most popular stories, there are generally two types of series. The first one is romance/romantic comedies. A character has given up on love and finds someone he or she can have a healthy relationship with, or they know someone from back in the day and they get together with them. Or there are stories that heavily rely on romantic moments, but not having romance as the main focus. The problem I have with these types of stories is that yes, while they are positive, it's kind of unrealistic, if you know what I'm saying. Real life isn't like that 100% of the time. It could take you many failed relationships to find the one, or ultimately, you can never find the one. And not everyone will be in a situation where they can bounce around between different people. Also, love just doesn't happen randomly like in these stories. And also, some of these stories can be straight up weird and overly rely on sexual appeal, which I am not a fan of. The second type of story, and the one I gravitate towards more, is the protagonist who's bullied or has had a bad childhood and magically becomes super powerful to take revenge or to help with a greater cause. I call this trope the broken MC trope. While I personally prefer these stories over romance series, I find that they're all very dark and intense, and if you read a lot of them, you'll definitely see the world in a different way. And you can't apply what these characters do in the real world because it's all legal. But the main thing you'll notice is that they all have pretty much the same setup and plot, just with different characters, which can cause some stories to become predictable and overly repetitive. And don't get me wrong, there are exceptions to these two types of stories, but out of the current trending and popular series on Webtoon right now, I could put most of these series in one of these two categories. And just a quick note, just because a series falls into one of these categories does not make it bad, and just because you like a series that falls into one of these categories doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad series. If you look at The Night Only Lives Today in a bigger perspective, yes, you could say it falls into the category of the broken MC due to Enkrid facing hardships and becoming stronger. But I have to disagree with that, because throughout his life, Enkrid was never bullied nor preyed upon. He just put in the work to get to where he was, and his work never got him to where he wanted to be at. Nevertheless, he kept working hard, getting stronger gradually. And that's gonna lead me into what I find positive about this series: Enkrid's work ethic. Enkrid takes every bad situation he's in and doesn't try to get out of it immediately, but tries to find a way to use it to his advantage and makes strategic moves accordingly, utilizing his so-called curse of coming back to life. And even if his actions fall short, he's still willing to get back up and try again, a feat that is attainable to anyone, no matter what situation they're in. That's ultimately why I find this series positive, because Enkrid's mindset can be applied to anything: getting a job, making a team, winning a game. Everything in life involves trial and error. And it's guaranteed that whatever endeavors you pursue, you will encounter pitfalls and things that will set you back. But it's what you do afterwards that counts. It's what you do to get over those pitfalls and get back on track. This is what Enkrid embodies: the desire to want something and to get back up again and again, trying to reach that goal. And no matter what, even though your losses are racking up, the only thing that's important is that one single win. In terms of the rest of this series, you see more development with the characters and tougher challenges Enkrid and his team have to face. It can be repetitive at some points, but it's overall a very enjoyable series. If you want to read this, I recommend binging it if you can, since you can get the most out of the series in a short amount of time without forgetting anything. and at the time this video is published, it's only 44 chapters long, with more available if you watch ads or pay extra. Should take you a couple hours to read. Since this is still a new series and there's not too much development with the plot, I can't give it a super high rating, so I'll need to give this series an 8 out of 10. Everything it does currently is good, with some exceptions of repetitive moments, but without seeing most of the story, it's hard to give this series a rating. Heck, we still don't know much about Ankred's curse and its origins, but that only means that there's only good to come, and I'm excited to see more of what the story has to offer. If you like this video, please make sure to give it a like, and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss another video of mine. And if you have read this series, what did you think of it? Did you like it? Did you not? Let me know in the comments. And until then, I'll see you all in the next one.